Hi guys, Dorothy here with Done by Dorothy, and we are back today for part 3 of our napkin skin tutorial series. So today we're going to work a little bit with our napkin skins and different ways that we can use them. We did faux tape. Oops, sorry. Having a little extra bit hanging off. We did our faux tape. So, packaging tape, scotch tape, and then on the vintage photos we have did, and there's videos for these if you want to go back and do them. We did our envelope, which is this is just a tear off on top of, collage it on top of your normal collage that you do. Then we did our envelope with a tuck spot, and so this is some tear off. And then the leaf and the bird is actually a fussy cut. And then this is layered on some book page with a ruffle, just on a card on the back. Then we just took sort of an offcut and put there. Again, a little leftover bit, because you always have these little bits that are left over like this, but it looks great for like little bits of tape or whatever. So put that down there. And I did fold this over here just to add a little bit of color on the back. And then we have, this was adhered directly to the front. And this was where we had fussy cut the other bird out. It happened to be the cutout, so I just put some coffee dyed paper behind it for a journaling spot on a card. So that's what we did with them so far. Of course, you can use it pretty much any way you use any standard paper. And you can do it like you do most Mod Podge. This is just a piece of coffee dyed paper, and we're going to use our art glitter glue. I like using it because it dries. It dries fast, and it dries clear. So we're just going to. I'm going to do about 1 inch across. Make sure it's covered real good. You know what? I'm going to drop down a little bit farther because I want to make sure I grab the top of that edge right there. So that on there. I always make sure I get up around my edges, because if not, it sticks up and acts all crazy. So this is one really cool effect that you can have, and I'm just going to glue this across the top, sort of in the center, not quite in the center, not measuring, just sort of plopping it there. Okay. And that's just on top of a standard coffee dyed piece of paper, and it adds that image to it, which is nice. But then I can lift it up and I can journal. Let's see, today is 11/24/2020. Let me grab my other pen. I do not usually write with these pens. I like a very wide 1.0 tip pen. That's just me. Thanks for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And just sign it so you can journal on your page. And it's really cool because even though it's not Mod Podge on there, you can see your writing under there. So it's pretty cool. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Now, what you could do if you wanted to write something and sort of wanted it not to be the focal point, and I'll use this piece of my scrap to show you here, like how this is loose, so you cover it. You can see the writing. If I hold it down, like right there, you can see where I put the heart. So you can see if there's pressure against it. But if you have it, and I'm just going to use this little piece to show for an example, but, and you glue, let me glue it all down. Okay. And I come in with a white or like the vintage color, or even, I'm going to let that dry. It's not all the way dry. I'm grabbing, I was looking for a piece. I thought, yes, no. I thought I had a piece left over of this one. I'll just tear a little part across the top here just to show you. Or like this one I'm using is the one that has the hummingbird on it, and we're going to do something with it in a second. But say, and again, I'm just showing you this so you can journal and read it through if you have, you know, the see-through or the brown, which is sort of cool because this sort of adds this, you can sort of add, you know, if you don't want just a big, I'm trying to think of, if you don't want just like a coffee dyed spot with your writing and you want to give it some like flair to make it look like sort of old or whatever, you know, you can do that, and it actually makes it look like, you know, like something's been spilled or whatever, but you're not writing over top anything. It actually comes through, so it makes it sort of nice. And again, that just is a page flip. You can use them as a page flip, which is nice. So, and I love the hummingbird, so they work great as a page flip. And it's just a sort of a hidden place that you can journal, but you still have something on that page. You're not just having a blank text page. Okay, so this is our page, and I love this floral page. And what I'm going to do is I want to make a bag out of it. So I'm just going to, this is my straight edge down here, so I'm going to go ahead and use it because, you know, it's a little bit easier than me trying. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some glue along this edge here so it'll adhere, and then we can come back through and I'm not trimming this up any. I mean, you could trim it if you wanted to. I'm not doing it for the sake of time. So I'm just going to come through and glue that, and then I have, you know, any flipped up area because that was over a bit. I can just glue it in, and I've made bags on here before, but I just wanted to show you that this does in fact work and what it looks like when you do it. And then I'm just going to put a little glue across here. I'm going to shut the bottom up. And I know a lot of people do this differently, but this is how I do it. I want to fold it up to where I want it to be. Roundabout. There we go. I'm not going to use my pinky shears today. I'm just going to notch my corners off. Get those out of the way. I'm going to add a little glue, not blue, a little glue to my flap. There's my bottom. Then my top up here, I'm just going to estimate and sort of trim this up. And again, if I had my pinking shears, the top would look a lot better. Okay. And you do have to make sure when you glue your thing in there that you sort of pull. Now, the one really cool thing is it does seem like it doesn't glue as much. I'm just making sure the bottom didn't, that bottom inside the front didn't glue down because, you know, Sometimes it does. Okay, there we go. So that created my little like faux glassine bag, but it's my printed, and where you use like your glassine or your vellum or whatever and put your napkin over to create your bags, you sort of lose that bagginess. I mean, this is like, you know, it's a little bag, and you have that glassine feel to it, so it makes it really nice, where you don't get that, you know, when you adhere your napkins to paper and, you know, stuff like that. You do, I mean, you still have that glassine feel on the top, but you don't get that like see-throughness where you can see, like, let me grab a couple of these. These are just journaling card blanks. So, you know, if I put them in there, my bags lay down, you can actually see that text through there. Oh, that's right in the middle where the text is. So let me use the music because it'll be a little easier to see the music. There you go. So you can see through there just like you do with the glassine bag. So yeah, bags, definitely awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Love the feel of them, love the way they work. You know, then you can glue them down, you know, in your thing. Now, if you didn't want to waste your colored napkin like this by gluing it on the back, what you could do is use one of the whites of your napkins. Remember, we used the white of the napkin when we did with the vintage photo. You could, and I didn't use any of that, so maybe I'll have to do a video doing that. You know what? I will do a video doing that. It'll have to be a separate one though, but where you could use this as your back and, you know, adhere this as your front. So yeah, I will make sure I do a video about that. Let me write that down. So I remembered it. So we may have an additional one. Maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll, you know, do one for a bag and one for an envelope. Hold on. Okay. That works. Okay. So, yep. Definitely like that. Love how that turns out. Okay. So, yeah, do these. These need to be cut so they're squared up or they're rough on the top. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep those the way that it is. Okay. Now my second one, or this one that I'm going to do, which will probably be the last one for today. I'm going to make two of them because I can do two different styles. This is going to be the more random, the random style. I'm just going to take it and fold it up. Now this is a ripped edge. This has the ripped edge on top, but the rest of it's all straight. I'm going to fold it up, and then I'm going to just throw some glue on the sides. Throw some glue on the sides. And fold it up. Come along here. And glue it down. So just how I glued that, you could glue it around all three and adhere this to a page to have a tuck if you wanted just like a see-through tuck on the side, which would be really cool. You know, because if you put your journaling card in there, then you're going to have, you know, where you can see whatever's behind it, which would be awesome if you're doing photos. And then on here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and fold this over. Again, this is the torn one, so it's all sort of givey. And I'm going to have a long, and that's going to give me just, and it, obviously I'm using a scrap piece that was left over. So it's just going to give me a long envelope that I can tuck something into that has that like ripped edge to it, which is sort of cool. So yeah, pretty neat. And you could glue that on the page or just use it, you know, tucked behind a paper clip. I mean, it would be perfect. You could also put it onto paper if you wanted it, you know, to be able to see it. Let me see, what did I do with my page? Here it is. So, I mean, let me put this aside. So you could do an envelope that way. Now, you could take it and adhere, you know, and glue it right down to your envelope or to your paper, you know, if you wanted to be able to see, like, because then this really draws out like the text and stuff. So you could, you know, adhere it to paper and do your envelope like you normally would. If that makes sense. So I'm going to trim this down a bit. Let me just randomly cut it off here. Because that'll give me a thing where I can show you the tuck thing in a minute. Okay, so I just sort of did this. So I'm going to do sort of the same exact thing that I did a while ago, but I'm going to fold it up. Okay. Then I'm going to fold in on the edges. I'm going to fold both sides of the edges. Both sides. The edges of both sides. Whoo, buddy. Okay. So put it right like that. Fold it right like that. Right. Okay. Then I'm going to come through here. I'm going to unfold it. I'm going to clip right here. I'm going to clip right here. Okay. I'm going to cut this line up through here. And again, normally when I do this, I have a template to do this just because it makes it easier for me. Or I grab my scoring board and do it. Okay. So I'm basically doing that. Okay. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to just triangle the corners here. Or miter the corners, however you want to say it. I'm going to miter these corners here. Miter the corner here. Okay. Right like that. I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to fold where that little edge where I folded it. I'm going to fold it inside. I'm going to fold it inside. Okay. Hopefully you're following with me. I'm going to add some glue here. Add some glue here. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my little flap here and I'm going to fold it up. And I can come back through and, you know, cut off if I have, because I know I trimmed this uneven, so uneven. Okay, so I can come through and cut that little hangover bit off. No big deal. Or I can leave it there. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay. Same thing with this side. Okay. Right like that. No problem. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this off about halfway across. Because, yeah. So I like to do. And then I'm just going to go from my corner and cut the corners off. Okay. fold that down. And this is a small version, obviously. I mean, okay. Now, I could take this over to my sewing machine, sew up the side, sew around it or whatever. But I'm going to take these. I have a ton of these scraps. I was cutting down for a collection of journals I'm working on. And so I have all these little scrappy papers left over. Okay. Right like that. Now, let me... This is just a piece of leftover plastic that I have. But it works great too. Just in case, because if you're not paying attention, you will glue when your flap glues and that glue squeezes out, it adheres everywhere. Unless I just folded my little piece. Nope, I didn't. Just does help, see? Get in there. Let me just fold it down a little bit smaller. Well, I probably did because I didn't fold that down like that. That's probably what it was. There you go. And like I said, when you glue it, you have to watch your glue. So I'm just going to pull that out a little bit without ripping your envelope. And see this side? I haven't pulled it out yet. There you go. There you go. You just have to be really easy with it and make sure you don't rip through. Because where that adheres, sometimes it glues to the base too when the glue squeezes out. Okay. There we go. So just like when you do glue everything, you just have to work with it for a bit. But it goes in. There you go. And oh, this one. There you go. So you get your little thing in there and fold over, and you've got your envelope, which if obviously if you've back your little thing with like music or something like that where it comes through a lot better. You can actually see it through your little envelope. So yeah, it makes cute little envelopes. And you can sew these if you want and not glue them. That sort of makes it a little easier to fit your stuff in it. And you can make these in all different sizes. That they work just the same. But there you go. So then if you want to add this as a tuck, I'm just going to use the raw edge here too. Just make sure you see. I'm going to do it on this side. Make sure you go down through your side, and you may want to run a couple lines down just because you want it to have enough support to hold. Then you just figure out where you want it. Put it down just like you do if you're creating any kind of tuck. But it does work as a tuck, and I'll show you in a minute. You just have to make sure you when you're doing it, you're sort of tightening it out. Oh, I did it upside down. Okay, but that's okay. Okay. That's okay. It's not upside down because that's my spine. So I was right. Yay. And then, my little envelope. We'll tuck right in there. Little journaling card behind it. Decorate it up. I was looking to see if I had any. I did have. Oh, I'll put this in there. But yeah, so see, you can decorate it right up, and it will hold, and you can run lace along the edges or whatever. So it works as a tuck too. So you guys have a great day. I will be back again, I will come back with the bag and the envelope, a different version of those. You guys have a great weekend. This should come out on Friday, so I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, good Black Friday. Stay safe, have a great weekend, and we will see you again Monday, hopefully, with the other bag and envelope tutorials. We will see you then. Have a great day. Bye.